Hey Cubs fans, this episode is brought to you by J&K Beef Jerky, true American flavor. If you're looking for a legit go-to snack, this is it. J&K Beef Jerky is made from real cuts of beef and brisket, thick cut, full of bold flavor and actually satisfying. None of that thin, dry stuff. This is real, meaty jerky. They've got a variety of flavors too, from classic to sweet, spicy, and smoky. Head over to jkjerky.com and use code CLUB120 at checkout for a discount. That's jkjerky.com, code CLUB120.
Welcome to Club 120, the ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. Grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me, as always, is a man who always gives his team a hard 90 from home to first, Neil. What's on today's lineup card, Coach?
Oh, man. Thank God for Manny Machado, huh? How about that guy? Man, what a complete tool that guy is. Anyway, man, big show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. However it is you take us in. We couldn't thank you enough for being here for this week's episode 15. Big things, man. Big things in this episode. We got our normal 5 topics. The first topic is going streaking. Then we'll move into a sticks and swords update. Mo Baller mashes is our third topic. The playing chase offense. And finally, the topic of the week is injury Inquisition. Man, we are recording this on Wednesday, obviously. Today, Thursday is an off day. So we just won the series against the Padres 15 minutes ago. That game ended. What a great freaking game that we almost snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, but Ben Brown was able to bail us out in very not typical Ben Brown fashion, and I'm all here for it, man. Let's talk about our first topic.
Going streaking.
Yeah.
That's it. Going streaking, man. Let's hear it.
Well, I mean, we've been riding it pretty high. 10 in a row. That leads the majors this year. And then coming right off of that, Neil, we went ahead and skidded to 3 in a row there against some pretty good teams. But 3 in a row is still 3 in a row. And coming off of 10, that still felt a little maybe, I don't know, to me, a little much. Did it feel a little much to you, like we could have done a little more there? That's how I woke up after the third loss. And I felt like we shouldn't feel that way. I don't know.
No, so I have a habit of doing this, but I've had a lot of great coaches in my life. So I've had a coach that always used to say, don't let your highs be too high and don't let your lows be too low. And, you and I talked about it on the airport episode last week. I think at that point we were at 9 in a row when we were talking. And it was one of those deals where it's like, is this who we are? Like, in the words of NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or somebody, like, quit playing games with my heart. Like,
Right.
like, is this who we're going to be, or is this just fool's gold? And then not too long after that, we're brought back to reality with 3 losses in a row. But like you said, they were great teams. Like, we weren't just losing to, the Rockies. Like these were good quality baseball teams, the former world champs.
Yeah.
And the Padres at the time were the best record in baseball. So
You called the game we lost, and because we were punching there, right? They were getting a couple runs an inning, and we were still at least scoring 1. And there was a moment there, I think, in the 5th inning, 5th or 6th inning, where we didn't score, and you just texted ball game. And I think from there it was 12-4, pretty quickly. And I think that was the only moment where they let it get away. Once everybody in the park felt it, it was like, well, that's it. And you hit the nail on the head in that moment. I felt it. I think everybody in the park felt that they were still punching. But that was the biggest question I was watching for the entire time, Neil, was this: did the energy dip, or was it just execution? Right. And I think that night that was execution. They were there for the fight, and the execution stopped. And even during the 3 games, that was still the same question. Are we talking about energy, or are we talking about execution? And they're still riding off of that 10 games. And I think that's a fuel and a formula that they can carry with them, regardless of whether they're, flying the W every night, or, they can't seem to find it here for a couple nights in a row.
Yeah. So, I think streaks are normal, right? I don't think they're like a warning sign or anything like that. Now, if you lose 3 in a row, win a game, and then lose 3 in a row, and then win a game, and then lose 4 in a row, then that's probably right. Yeah, it's probably a warning sign. Like, let's throw up some road flares. But let me ask you this: would you rather be streaky, or would you rather be just consistently average?
Well, I mean, in order to win 10 games, you've got to be pretty good. But also, I think we stole a few games in there. We stole a few innings that we probably shouldn't have won. Rolled up a couple double plays that might or might not have been turned on any other night. Things like that. I think the streak side of it, Neil, is great, because we know exactly what we're capable of now. 10 games is real. Like, any night, and that's baseball. We know that any given night, any dude can be on the mound for another team and just absolutely have his best stuff he's ever had, and just twirl you off unexpectedly, right? So we know what we're capable of now, and I think that's going to be the hardest part for us as fans. I think it's easy for them, right? They know, players know what we're capable of. Us as fans, we just hope for this, right? And now it's like, well, that was April. Now what are we going to do for the next 3 months? And we're going to chase this feeling, and we're going to fire off on Twitter, and we're going to ratchet up the anxiety. You're right. This is normal. 10's not normal, but winning 5 or 6 or 7 in a row is normal in any given season. So pump the brakes. We've got to be okay with going streaking every once in a while. What is something that you look for, though, when you're going streaking that says, hey, these are good things, whether we're winning or we're losing?
Oh man. I think the way our hitters all, I would say with the exception of one, are really trending upwards. Uh, you know, uh, Cody Delmendo and those guys, and everybody kind of likes to, Joe at Obvious Shirts have all made tweets or made mention of owing Conforto an apology, and I am right there in that bandwagon. I mean, to watch him trend upwards, to watch Saya, miss the first 12 games, then start really slow and then trend upwards. To watch, I saw like PCA, like the first 15 games of the season was hitting like 189, and the last 15 games he's hitting like 289.
Yeah.
And so to see that consistency across the board, Dansby has, if you look at Dansby's average, and I guess these new analytics guys would tell you this is the problem with average, right? Is because if you just look at average, Dansby's not having a good year. But if you look at clutch hitting, Dansby might be up there among the top on the roster,
Right.
As far as big swings of the bat, and not necessarily hitting homers. I mean, he has cranked a couple, but he's also had really timely base hits, really timely doubles, and just kept the lineup moving like you want. And it seems like a lot of Dansby's empty at bats are with nobody on, so can't really complain about that. But to see these guys all offensively trending upwards, with the exception of Michael Busch, who I thought was going to get going there, but it seems like maybe we've 2 steps forward and 1 step back, which is better than the alternative. But he's just not putting the barrel on the ball right now.
He's just, I think that's going to be a whole nother breakdown of some hot or not. I think we can do that. And right now he's just not. You said he's lost today. I just said there's no barrel, right? I mean, he's swinging and there's just no barrel behind the ball. And what I mean by that is look at PCA in the last couple of days, in the last week or so, you can see the barrel is behind the ball, right? Like he's tracking, his swings are good. Yes, Pete's going to chase, but that you watch Michael Bush's swings and you're like, hey, that looks like a decent swing. No, watch, the barrel's not actually behind the ball. And that's what we're waiting for with him. And he's getting there. You see Saya's back behind the ball. He's not jumping in front, flipping, rolling over it, and that's all there. So, yes, man, that's the amount of guys and the amount of traffic that was created. And I think that leads us to where we're heading next here, quite honestly, is the amount, your point, the offense and the traffic that was created really was the wave that the Cubs rode, because it seemed like every day another pitcher was hitting the injury list or moving around from bullpen to potential starter or opener or something, just because of whatever's going on today. So they brought it for the last 2 weeks, and that's a huge reason why we're 13-3 in the last 16 games. It's huge.
Yeah. Okay. So that brings us to our second topic. Speaking of trends, let's move right into our topic number 2.
Club 120, Sticks versus Swords.
Stix versus Swords is brought to you by Ungambled. What if you could make money from sports betting without actually gambling? Ungambled teaches you how to use sportsbook bonuses and a proven arbitrage strategy to generate real, predictable profit. We're talking $10,000 to $15,000 in just a couple months. No guessing, no luck, just math. Visit ungambled.com/club120 to learn more.
I'm making a comeback, man. Don't call it a comeback.
It's not even it hasn't even been a month, first of all. It's barely been 6 weeks here.
Yeah, but I was down a lot early on. Early on, it was like we couldn't get a hit to save our lives, and we were striking out 15 guys a game. And it was just it was not looking good for me. But the Sticks, man, we're heating up, baby. I think these numbers are prior to.
This is now. I just updated actually right before we hit record. So yes, that is as of getting on the plane.
Okay, all right. So Sticks are up 279 to 251. The Sticks take a commanding 18. That's going to take a while.
Well, y'all were just pounding out double digits every night.
I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take this win and
look, there's still plenty of time, honestly, just because of there's days and games where these things flip. I had I think I had a 20 strikeout lead the last time we did an update like this, and you were about to jump in the lake, and the lake was still frozen at that time, I think. So, lots of things have changed. But man, I'm not going to lie to you, it's actually a lot more fun when it goes this way. I'd love to be bragging about the Swords just keying everything up, but quite honestly, Neil, we would be talking about probably a team with a 500 record. And if that's the case, then, while this competition might be fun, if we don't hit, we don't get to sit here and have a lot of fun. So I'm glad you guys woke up.
Well, but at the same time, it's going to be hard. And I don't know, we might have to think of something to do here, because it's going to be really hard for you to make any noise with the, what did they say today? Is it 14 arms on the IL?
Yeah, that's
or is it 11? I can't remember the number. But
it's insane. But the numbers here speak to this, and this is where your offense and where your pitching staff is right now. We're piecing together the pitching staff, and probably why we're 18th in Ks in the league right now is a lot of it is because we've got guys that aren't here to pitch swing and miss. A lot of our guys that are swing and miss aren't pitching right now. And you got rookies coming up that are just trying to throw it through the Fox box, and they're not up there to try to embarrass any, a major league hitter. They're just trying to get 3 outs before Craig comes and gets them. So could be a little bit. Now, you guys have vaulted up the standings. The Cubs are now 3rd in the league in total number of hits. So, we felt it. We felt the surge. And man, it's fun to watch this offense. We whine about it and we talked about it whenever they weren't going well, but the reality is this is the type of offense that, yes, even the number of strikeouts in a game, you just can't keep up with. And even though we got guys even in our offense that are doing the same mentality where it's just double or strikeout or walk, it's playing well. and it's providing us opportunities in every single inning. And we see it when we don't hit with a runner on, we lose, right? I mean, when we don't get a couple of knocks with a runner on, it's terrible because we're hoping for a slug, and that typically that night it's just not coming.
Yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, let's move on to one of the bats that's really getting hard to ignore, man. Let's move on to our third topic.
Mo Baller mashes.
Moises Ballesteros, my man. Golly, production versus role, matchups versus consistency. What happens if this guy, if he ever does cool off? What happens here, man? I mean, I feel like my vote is this kid's got to be in the lineup every day.
I don't see why he can't. Every time that Craig does leave him in against a tough lefty, he grinds out a 9-pitch at bat. So it's not that he only can hunt the first pitch and he, just absolutely mashes those. I mean, it's insane. And we're going to get to the point now where we're going to see pretty quickly how well he does make adjustments, because he's made it pretty clear how he's going to attack his at-bats.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was Sut or Boog today that made a comment about the league is catching on to the first pitch ambush approach.
Right.
So he's going to have to approach at bats differently. And I think, was he 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 today, or did he finally get one?
I didn't see. I'd have to check the box on that. But no, he didn't have a huge impact today. You're right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is, like, a grand slam the night before, you got to put him in the lineup, and now, you're not just giving a free pass to Nico anymore, because the guy behind Nico can do some damage. And it's been a while since someone in the Cubs lineup has had that kind of has carried that kind of aura, if you will, to the plate.
He was 0 for today with no Ks, though. 0 for 5 with no Ks. So he's not missing. So here's the question. You made a point there. Do you like him when Craig slid him up to the two spot there? Is that a good home for him as an ambush hitter?
I like him there, but I also like you said, I don't like him. I don't want him to strike out, but I don't like that a lot of times he's the first bat on the bench. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like they bring in a reliever and all of a sudden we've got Scott Kingery or I'll be honest with you, a lot of times the Scott Kingery situation happens when we punish Mo Baller for getting a double.
Right.
Like, the guy ropes a double in the gap, and how do we thank him? We send Scott Kingery to go run for him. Like, I get it.
It's our first chance we've ever gotten to in that game. Typically, I mean, there were several games during the last couple of weeks where he's the only one that got us to that point.
Yeah, I get it, but like, it's the 5th inning, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, let the guy take 2 more at bats. Like, I don't. And then we're playing musical chairs from there on out because we're not going to let Scott Kingery hit.
Right.
So, we Kingery's going to run for him, and then we got Conforto or somebody else is going to hit for him. Probably Amaya. If Amaya's not catching, and if Amaya is catching, then it's Kelly, and then we burnt all 3 catch. Like, we don't have.
It's the 5th inning, right? That was what the other night we had in the 8th inning, 8th inning.
Yeah, it was like,
and we were down to just whoever was catching. That was it. I think it was Carson.
Mm-hmm.
So, what makes Mo Baller different than other young left-handed hitters? Like, what do you see right now?
What I see is a really, really good grasp of the strike zone and what is a ball and what is a strike. And I think at his age, the ability to see the ball out of the hand and know, that's the thing about his at bats is, like, today I saw it twice. I saw him get fooled on a pitch twice. But in his defense, he's probably never seen a major league knuckleballer.
What, 92? Yeah, he was bringing some shed with that knuckleball.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like he throws a knuckleball and then comes back with 92, and you're just like completely off balance. And then every other batter they're throwing at somebody's head. Like today couldn't have been easy to be a hitter. I mean, you know,
part of me wonders if that's a little bit of their bullpen's strategy. Is, get them a little bit riled up. It's the third time through the lineup. Yeah, they've got stuff down there, but stuff plays a lot better whenever you're just a little bit wild, right? And then you dot the outside corner.
I just don't understand. Like, and they can point at the dugout and say my bad all day long, but like to me, you throw one right at Shaw's head, and then you throw one behind his head in consecutive pitches. It's like okay, like what?
Right.
Like
there was a lot of up and in, and there was not a lot that we did back. Quite honestly, there was not a lot of hey, let's talk about this.
No, because I think we were trying to win a baseball game, and I think they were trying to induce a lot of fear and swing and miss, and we were out trying to win a ball game. And that's what even Sut kind of alluded to it. Like, it's not going to happen today because we're trying to win a ball game, but it'll happen. Like, and I tweeted it and I stand behind it. Ben Brown is a better human being than I am, because when Ben Brown came in there and got that sac fly. Now, don't get me wrong, there is no better double play candidate than Manny Machado, because that dude's going to hit a ground ball and he is going to run about 33 feet.
Yeah.
Before he peels off to the dugout. So kudos to Ben Brown to sticking to the game plan and just throwing Machado a ground ball and getting out of the inning. But I'm telling you right now, with a base open and him, I would have put one right square in his freaking ear hole. And I wouldn't have thought twice about it. I would have done it and been walking at him. But I mean, and who knows, that could have been, that probably would have led to us sitting here talking about how Ben Brown can't control the game, and
right.
And he hit Machado and then gives up a single, and now we're down a run, and so it would have been a completely different game. So kudos to Ben to going out and doing his job and getting a win. Showed a lot of maturity that, quite frankly, me at close to 50 years old do not have.
But sidebar, since you mentioned Ben and brought him up, do you think Craig has it out for him? It feels like he cannot get into a clean situation. It's like Craig is like, I'm going to test you every single time, and it's the most insane.
Yeah,
over and over. I can't make it up. It's every day. Craig's like, let me find a new way to test Ben Brown.
Yeah, but that goes either way, man, because like part of me, I don't know what it is. He's not giving me any reason to have this false sense of hope that I have, but like when what's his face is out there walking the dugout and they flash to the bullpen and they see Ben Brown warming up, and I'm like, what do we do? Like, put him in now. Like, what are we doing? And so, like, I don't know, man. I was rooting for, like, why didn't we go to Ben first? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are we letting this guy make a mess and then he's got to come clean it up? So I don't know. I think it's a trust factor. Like, I think the plan was Ben was going to close this game.
Like a piggyback style, like, hey, you're going whenever we fire you, you're going.
No, I think what's his face was supposed to go get 6 outs.
Right.
And then Ben was going to come in and close the 9th.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, but so I think we were trying to get to Ben, but just couldn't get to him and had to go to him sooner.
It was so fast. I mean, I did he throw any strikes? It was ball 4, ball 8, ball 12. I feel like
it was bad.
Was just non-competitive. The one thing that's been good about the guys coming up from Iowa this spring for the Cubs has been their ability to attack the strike zone. That we haven't had that. Luke Little, Porter Hodge walk the earth and then finally figure out how to get out of trouble, but gave up 1 or 2 runs. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, they're learning. No, these kids have been very good. So maybe this is just a blip on the radar for Corbin Martin. And hopefully he comes back and competes in the zone next time. But that was some stuff that just does not that just doesn't translate long term. And that's going to be tough.
Okay, here we are. Topic number 4.
Playing chase offense.
The Cubs are 12-4 when scoring first. What does that tell you about the Cubs?
Well, we've got a good leadoff hitter.
Yes.
I think that record would be actually a lot more considering outside of the number of games that when we don't score first, I think we're down 3-0. Like I think there's no in between. I think we either get 1 because we should have had 3 in the first or second. We get 1. And then if we don't do that, then we're going to give up 3 in the first or second. And then we play chase for the rest of the game. So either way, we're playing chase. It's just whether, we're going to go do it or not. The theory here, the thought is how do we do this more often? Because it seems like the offense is available. It's just we get in our own way half the time, and we just can't execute. Something as simple as just moving a runner in the first inning.
So that was my question to you that I have written down here is scoring first a stat or is it a mindset?
Ooh. I like that mindset approach. I think that is a great game. We talk about shutdown innings, right? The mindset of putting a 0 up after you score. Why not have that mindset? Score first. And every time you're even in a ball game, the next team that scores wins. That seems like a great approach in my mind of win the inning, win this at bat, win. Baseball's such a micro stat sport anyway. You can find it. There was a stat. This is such a long time ago, but I had an old college coach who was very early on statistically driven. But this was way back whenever I played, and his team tracked every first pitch in a Division I junior college in the conference that his team was involved in. They tracked every first pitch, and it was a first pitch strike mentality that he was trying to get through to his pitchers. He was just throw a strike first pitch because 73% of the time the batter's taking.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about it didn't matter ball strike, it didn't matter curveball, slider, fastball, change. It didn't they only tracked whether the guys swung at the pitch or not. And they just took whether it was a strike or not, batters are taking 73% of the time. Just throw it a strike. And that was his mental approach, and that's how they did it. Same approach here. Just hunt. Just how do we get 1 run?
Yeah.
Too many nights, I think that's our offense is we get take the Mo Baller game. We wasted a grand slam. We wasted 5 runs in 5 innings.
No, yeah, that's
So how do you when you build this lineup and you build an offense, Neil, and you're chasing that mentality, when are you okay with the mental approach? Because I've seen you say this before of giving up outs. Is that early? Are you okay with that mental approach with 2 strikes in the first inning to just slap one to the second baseman?
yeah. I thought I think, gosh, I can't remember. This is where I'm so bad at this stuff, but I'm pretty sure today in the first inning, Nico gets on, and then we put Nico on the move and hit behind him. Mo Baller hits right behind him, and it's like, fellas, this is baseball right here. If this don't light a fire under you, your wood's wet. I'm sitting there watching this. You're gonna have to give me a minute. I'm in love over here. This is how you play the game, and so I don't think you necessarily are giving up outs as much as you are just doing the right thing. Let's just hit the ball to the right side here. Hit the ball behind the runner. And then then Bregman comes up. Bregman squeaks the ground ball. Nico advances. I mean, it's and then we get bases loaded, one out, and then all we got to do, all we have to do, like Michael Bush, all you got to do, buddy, just hit me a fly ball.
Just stay behind it, lift it, and first thing you can lift. Yeah.
Just hit the ball. I don't even care if you barrel it, man. Just hit a fly ball out there.
Yep.
And what we ground right into a double play. And it's like we played the game. We without purposely giving up outs. We played the game the right way all the way up until this point.
Yeah.
And no, in that situation, to answer your question, I am 1000% okay with Michael Bush in that situation giving up an out. Like you know what I'm going to do? I am going to hit the ball in the air, sacrifice myself so that Nico can score from third, and we're up 1-0 in the first.
Yep.
Come catch us.
There you go. I like it. Just a little stat to support this. The Cubs currently are 26th in the majors in first inning scoring. They average 0.3 runs a game. Top 5 teams are all at 0.692. The Washington Nationals average 1 run a ball game in the first inning.
Yeah, so that's not good for us.
No, that's not good. And yet we're 12-4 in games that we score first, not in the first inning, but score first. So my theory here is, and I'll support what you just said when we talk about slapping a ground ball to the right side to move a runner from a sacrifice standpoint. I would actually do that early in a ball game to get the lead and get the run, and I would be okay with you not doing it in the 6th or 7th inning when I would rather you be hunting a double. And to kill the ball game at we're up maybe 4-2 at that point. You know what I mean? Like we don't need that third run. I need you to hit a wall ball.
Right.
So I maybe that's a theory that statistically speaking comes back around. I don't know, but there's so much statistics behind first inning scoring, teams that score first, teams that score in multiple innings in the first 3 innings. So like if you score 2 times in the first 3 innings, you're like 89% chance to win the ball game. Like it's crazy how well your chances are, how good your chances are to win a ball game by going early. So I'd love to see Craig get crazy early and send some guys, but we don't do that a ton. Maybe Mo Baller allows that. Does Mo Baller in the 2-hole and knowing he's going to make contact allow you to be more aggressive?
Oh, I think so.
Can Craig use this? Like it scares me because he's hunting, right? He's hunting first pitch, and it's like, oh man, I don't. Usually, you think
you're not going to run the first pitch, but I mean, like if he gets to a hitter's count, 2 balls, 1 strike, like let's put him in motion, because if that thing's in the zone,
right,
he's going to put it in play, like he's going to, or he's going to foul it off, either one. So that brings us to a more concerning topic, and that is our topic of the week.
Topic of the week: Injury Inquisition.
So listen, I feel like every now and then we have to take some time here on this podcast and pat ourselves on the back or start charging royalties to Cubs Twitter. Because it seems like now all of a sudden with this Justin Steele injury or re-injury or delay, whatever fancy term we're gonna give it, it seems like now all of a sudden we're up in arms with Cubs medical and Cubs training staff, and I feel like we were pretty far out in front of that.
It's always been a concern.
I feel like this has been a concern of ours for over a year now.
Just in handling, absolutely, 100%. There's a lot of concerns that I have.
It's not the handling; it's the, and maybe you're right. Maybe it is the handling, and maybe it's we're going to call everything the same thing. Well, what that does is make you think that you are terrible. Like what did we have? 8 guys last year missed time with an oblique. Like, then what are you doing? What are you doing to the oblique that all these guys are getting injured? Or you're lying to us.
I can show you. That's the thing is, I think I can show you. I can share a few videos of training methods and mechanisms that these guys are using that is from the oblique standpoint that is completely different than the way that you and I trained back when we were young pups. And it's all this rotational medicine ball. Like, I'm telling you, it's there. So the signs are there from that perspective. I have a bigger question, though, because I think that we have some in our pursuit. And again, the reason that we revived Sticks versus Swords is because I felt like we were going to start missing a lot more bats this year because velocity was the new currency for the Cubs pitching lab. And they're in there shaping pitches and spin rates and all that stuff. And Neil, I think I think we're really the max effort is that default setting now. And you used to watch those kids and you've coached those kids and you're like, geez, man, this kid's never going to last more than X number of pitches in a ball game or in his career. You can name a time frame, right? It's short. But are we not training for that right now? Like, we just need him here for a few years. If he becomes something long-term, great. We'll pay him later.
So I guess my question, though, is, and this is the question I will pose to you, is at what point, like, are we no longer, like, let me see exactly how I wrote this down here. Like, at what point does this stop being just bad luck? Or a coincidence? Like, at what point does it actually become like, hey, this is an us problem here?
Right. Well, I mean, let's flip it around, right? Like, at what point do we also have to say that modern pitching and modern medicine should have caught up to this by now? So at some point in time, you should have some better understanding about this. But I think we just are in favor of just throwing harder, and it's more and more and more. And how? So, the question is there. As you can see, modern medicine, Justin Steele was 3 months ahead of schedule, 5 months ahead of schedule. And now we're back behind schedule because he's probably back throwing hard and throwing harder and every day and not taking the full 15 months to the way it was designed to do. So I don't know how much is Cubs medical. Is it training? Is it long toss program? Like, at what point is the entire program not called to the carpet here? Is it the Zombro effect? Somebody has to say something. I'll let you go first because it's a great soapbox that you have been on, and I think you're right on something. So who needs to get called out?
No, I don't think it's Zombro. I really don't.
Okay.
I think it is more the strength conditioning training staff.
Okay.
Medical staff, medical personnel. I do not think that it is Zombro. I don't think Tread Athletic and those guys become as high level and high demand and sought after if somebody would already be connecting the dots, right? Somebody would have already done that. Somebody had been like, hey, look at all these guys what's the common denominator in all these guys that are hurt? They all went to Tread. I think that's not, I'm not putting that, I'm not ready to put that on Zombro, and I don't think we're there, and I don't think we will. I think this is 100% on how guys are preparing their body and repairing their body. I think recovery is big, and I think somebody, whoever's calling shots, either in strength and conditioning or in the training staff, is maybe not. I don't know if they're if up to date is what is the word we want to use. I don't know, because you got to be careful with this kind of stuff, right? Like, I mean, but I can just tell you from my coaching experience, the difference in athletic trainers and physical therapists and those types of individuals. And once one group of them leaves and another group comes in, then everything you were doing was wrong, and every method you were doing was wrong, and everything you were doing to recover was wrong, and you were heating when you should have been icing, and you were icing when you should have been heating, and you were stretching when you should have been lifting. I mean, it amazes me how these people can graduate from the same university at the same, 3 years apart, and both think that each other are doing things the complete wrong way, and they're both idiots. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
They
so
are practicing medicine.
yeah. Well, We need to hire somebody that is done practicing and is figured it out.
It's there is definitely some concern, especially in such a technologically driven science, sports science, and medicine. To see that many pitches and pitchers heading towards getting more stitches, it's a concern. The bigger concern, I guess, long term, short and long term, Neil, is how much does this affect the 26 man and the Cubs for this season? Is this enough to make them move and change plans?
I don't know about that, and so I'm really not. Before we move on to that, I want to talk about, like, today. I noticed they were talking about JMO, and they were like, "Oh yeah, what a warrior." He had Tommy John in 2011, and then he had Tommy John in 2017, and then he also battled testicular cancer, and like so. I'm not counting the testicular cancer, but these guys had Tommy John twice. And so, like, when we draft someone like a Cade Horton, is this just a box we should know that we're going to check? Like, if he is a Jameson Taillon like career and is going to pitch until he's 40 something years old, we are going to miss 3 seasons of baseball with Cade Horton, because he's going to miss a season and a half for Tommy John the first time, and 6 years later he's going to miss Tommy John. He's going to miss a season and a half for Tommy John the second time.
Yeah. I mean, look at it all. Look at Jacob DeGrom. He's missed the better part of several seasons because of that. I'm just trying to think of other comps here for some of those guys that are just such high end.
Is this Justin Steele's second Tommy John?
I believe so. Yes.
I mean, that's what
Steele's second one.
Yeah.
And I think this is Cade Horton's second one too, right? He had one in college.
I don't know that, but that's what I'm asking. So when draft time comes around and we're watching the draft board and we take 3 pitchers, and
have they or haven't they?
And
the first question.
I don't, or is it just no matter how special this kid is, if he's a Cub for life, if he is a Cub for his 10 to 15 year career, he will miss at least a season and a half to 3 seasons with Tommy John.
Yeah. I think Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, Strasburg. I mean, you can name them. Like, yes, they're all high end. They all will miss seasons, and it's the most frustrating thing. So yes, it's an expensive currency. Starting pitching is expensive, and that's why they command it. And when they're good, they're good.
To me, that's my. I want to jump in on this collective bargaining discussion that we're about to start having. Like, let's start putting insurance policies on pitchers. Like, I'll give you your max market that you're after, but if you get hurt and have to have Tommy John, I've got an insurance policy that's going to pay that. That's going to pay you while you're out, because I got to go out and get somebody else.
So you think that shouldn't count against the cap, or how are you bargaining this? Like, what?
Yeah,
I mean, they already probably do that as far as contracts are concerned. I mean, you can get insurance for lots of things. So
no, I'm saying it shouldn't. You should just be able to wipe it off your 40-man roster, your payroll.
Then what's stopping any of these guys from stockpiling 13 aces and just having them on rotation?
Because they've got to be, like, it's got to be legit. Like, the league's got to investigate here. Like, are you actually having surgery? Are you actually out for a season and a half?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why not sign 5 of those guys? And they're not going to be good for this year, but next year they'll be my guys. And I know 5 are going to blow their arms between now and then. So I'm going to replace them.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way. But
I mean, if I had Dodger money, I'd try it.
I think if you have any money, I would try it. I would be less afraid of signing a big expensive contract for a pitcher if I knew that when he went down with Tommy John and missed a season and a half, his dollars are coming off of my payroll.
Yeah. I look, there's so many ways that you can cut this one up, and no pun intended. But the reality is the amount of innings that are sitting and won't be pitched by these guys for the Cubs this year is a massive problem. And it's going to be, short term and long term, how we go about doing business, because next up, Justin Steele is in arbitration. He's got one more year. He's been very quietly accepting his $5 or $6 million, right? And if he comes back and he looks well, how do you price him into your future plans?
Right.
Cade Horton, right? You're already there. Like you would be having discussions if he was healthy about what kind of an extension you do for pitchers that are, back-to-back top 5 Cy Young type guys, if that's where he was heading again, okay, what do we do here? How the Cubs do business is going to be very interesting with the rest of those guys, including Jackson Wiggins, and that's probably why they keep innings limits on these guys and everything. I mean, how do they prevent it? What is the best form of action? The Cubs, the front office shuts them down and slows their innings usage. The training staff is, going off of a schedule that they are being told when they're throwing next and what they're doing, and then they have to get them healthy within that. Somewhere there's a disconnect here, and I hope that they can figure it out, because these doctor bills are going to be adding up, and they're going to be a lot higher and a lot more expensive than the contracts that we're paying these guys as of right now, as far as what they're worth to us.
No, I agree. All right, that's it. That's our show. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. However it is you take us in. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. You can visit our website, www.club120show.com. That is all for us. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!
This podcast was produced and recorded by Vocal Media Solutions. Unauthorized reproduction or redistribution without written consent is strictly prohibited. Interested in launching your own show? Visit vocalmediasolutions.com to get started.